So, Clay, I was talking to this Jewish girl and she gave me her number, but I had to tell her that we use our names now. Don't play the music. Why do you have Nazi music on your phone?
Well, see, Dylan, I have it just for special occasions for you.
You're
I know it's your favorite song.
You're the only reason
what the kids
we talk about this
nowadays.
shit.
It's what the kids nowadays call a bop to Dylan.
I am being
Jesus
held
Christ.
against my will.
Oh God!
All right, folks, welcome to the Truffle Shuffle Podcast.
Anyway.
We're on, oh Jesus, we're on episode 14, is it?
Yep.
Now, so Clay, how you been? How you doing, man? You doing good?
I'm doing good.
You doing good? I mean, do you see this weather today? Oh my goodness, talk about the weather.
Seriously, talk about it.
What do you think of this weather?
I don't like what's going on. What is
Talk about it,
happening?
Clay.
This is called small talk. Talk about the weather.
This is creepy. It's warm.
It's
nice.
it's unnecessary. Would you agree?
Are you ASMRing myself? Ew! I don't like the sound.
Would you consider that this is unnecessary, Clay?
The climate change.
Are you having a good day? How's your day?
What is going on?
Would you consider this unnecessary?
Yes.
Because it leads to my topic of the fact that I fucking hate small talk. Somebody at work the other day come walking by
Fucking moron.
3 separate times. I had to write it down. 3 separate times come by, and every time just said the stupidest fucking thing to have some sort of interaction while I'm doing my job. I'm like, you can just pass by, dude. I'm like, you don't. He's like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, same as it was 15 fucking minutes ago.
That's a terrible way to talk about Steven there, Dylan.
No, not Steven. If it was Steven, I would say it to his face.
Mean.
But no, then he came back and he was literally, he's like, he comes back by, he's like, are you ready for the weekend? And I was like, dude, first off, I don't even know you.
Dude, it's Monday.
But
That's like the guy at Byers when I walked past him, and then he's like, "Hey, you need any help?" Huh? It's like me.
What?
It's like, dude, I'm 10 feet away from you. I'm like, yeah, okay. Small talk sucks sometimes. Sometimes you ever do the phone thing, where like if you're walking in and you see somebody outside, and you're like, they're definitely gonna lock eyes and talk to me.
Oh, I think
I
the
go,
whole conversation.
Oh, hello. Yep. Okay, I'm going into the store now.
I don't even try to make it sound
I did it with
fake.
Girl Scouts the other day.
I
I'm so
fully-
sorry, Girl Scouts of America.
To the Girl Scouts?
She was like, "Do you want it?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm on the phone. I'm on the phone."
But Thin Mints.
I don't like Thin Mints.
What?
You can go fuck yourself
The
with Thin
Thin
Mints.
Mints are gross.
It's
What?
Samoans
You're
or nothing. Get out
Which
of my
ones-
face.
Which box
Ew,
is
the ones
it?
with
Get
coconut?
out of my
No.
face.
Yeah, I was on your side until you said Samoas. No,
Samoas.
they're gross.
Which box is that?
Okay.
They're the ones
Purple?
with the coconut.
I'm
Or
going
is it
somewhere
the
for
pur-
this
is it the
podcast.
purple box?
Swirl one with the coconut.
I'm
What
going-
are the peanut butter tagalongs? Tagalongs. I like those.
I like the all abouts, which are the one like the shortbread ones with the writing on them.
Oh
And
God,
the
that's the
chocolate
most
on the bottom,
boring
and the
fucking
chocolate on the
cookie.
bottom. They were pretty good.
How do you not like Thin Mints though? That's un-American.
What are you talking about?
Thin Mints are made by the Girl Scouts of America in their processing factory that the Girl Scouts never even visit. So,
Child labor laws do not allow.
Actually, child labor laws were a mistake. The children yearn for the mines. Minecraft has told us this.
yes, I've seen that meme everywhere. Thank you, Allery.
I have not, and I do not
Oh.
like it.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
Wait, rain on my parade, Dylan.
What? You just had a stroke over there?
Chill out, Joe. Come
I
on.
was about to say, chill out, Biden. All right. Well, speaking of Biden, let's go ahead
well,
and jump
our
right
3
into
listeners have turned
What?
off.
Welcome to 2022. What would Biden do?
Yes. What would he
Absolutely fucking nothing.
Whatever Pelosi says.
What? Okay. State of the Union. So I haven't watched the whole thing yet, and I will because I just want to see how bad it is. I've seen clips of it, which they call the highlights. And it's not only is it embarrassing, it's scary.
Well, first off, it wasn't really a State of the Union address. It sounded like a campaign speech. There was nothing in there about what he had done. It was all about what he planned on doing.
Because he hasn't done it. He hasn't
Well,
done, he
he
hasn't done
can't talk
shit.
about the things that he has done. That's for sure. Like
So can I
shutting-
say something?
This is an open mic, Clay.
I think it is very embarrassing. I totally don't know everything he's done. I don't know any of that. When he talks, and he messes up talking.
Look, fat.
When if I was another country that saw that that's their leader, I was like, you guys are a joke. There's no way. Like, nobody is taking us seriously
There's
at all.
nothing wrong with stumbling over your words every now and then, because when
He's
you're reading,
confused. That's the
but
problem.
when you're reading off a teleprompter, it's like you can stumble. That's not a big deal. But it's every 20 seconds.
You know, he practiced that like 3 days in a row just for the State of the Union and still could not say like half the words.
I just want to know how many like adrenaline shots they dosed him up with beforehand. Like
term limits. Term limits.
No. This is age limits.
Well, yeah, that too. But
Listen,
I mean,
listen. You have to.
If
be
you can't
25
drive, you are not allowed to run.
but
have to be
if we had
25 to-
term limits.
You have to be 25 to run for Congress. I think we should cut it off at 70. Like, you can't run after 70.
Also,
but he has been
you should
involved
not
in
be
politics for 47 years. So if we had term limits, he wouldn't be there right now.
I don't understand.
Neither would
I understand how it works, but how does Pelosi get paid? I don't know the exact amount. Let's say
she makes
$200,000.
He chooses what she gets paid.
Did you see that somebody was tracking all of her trades, stock
Yes.
trades?
And that account on Twitter has been deleted now.
How
It's
weird
been
is
banned.
that? But this bitch is just going around, doing these trades, and they're winning every time
Clay,
because she knows.
do not insult female dogs that way.
Oh no!
So the
The
other
crypt
clip,
keeper is what I'm trying to say.
the other clip that everybody's seen from the State of the Union is when Biden is talking about, isn't he talking about like burn pits in like World War II or
Yep.
something like that? And he's talking about
She
like
pops up.
he's talking about like
Prairie
what the
dog.
soldiers had to go through, and then he compares it to what the soldiers are going through in Ukraine, which is fine. But then over his left shoulder, Pelosi stands up and like a cracked out praying mantis.
Okay, this is how I explained
she
it.
just starts rubbing her hands
Her
together.
knuckles together.
This is how
do you
I
know what I'm talking
explained
about,
it.
Clay?
Have you guys? So as listeners, you guys have seen the meme of the guy walking out from behind the tree, and he's like rubbing his hands like he's excited to go get something.
Yeah.
That's what she was doing because he's doing exactly what she wants. I honestly don't think that. I'm not.
I don't. But what's scary about it is that these are the people leading our country.
These are the people not only leading, but they are basically the face of us. So we look like complete
And
idiots.
it
to
doesn't even
everybody.
have to do with what side they're
Is
on,
this what you're
because
talking
I
about?
don't know what.
Yep,
this guy.
that's the one.
That's the meme. All right,
That
look-
was Pelosi.
Look at your screen real quick.
Look at her lips, and she adjusted her dentures about 15 times. Dude, go down. There's a Patrick. That's what she looked like right there. That was her.
But it was out of fucking nowhere. She
crazy.
just stands up. She's not even rubbing her hands together. She's rubbing her knuckles together.
Well,
the
when
hell
you're
is
that
that?
age, it's pretty cold in there, probably.
Well, all she has left are knuckles.
Jeez. But I mean, it's like, it doesn't even matter what side they're on right now, because all the people that are in there cheering for nothing and saying things that don't add anything, they're on both sides of the political party.
Listen,
exactly
Mitch McConnell is a treasure, and he is the turtle that will outlive all of us.
It is the exact same thing that happened. I believe it was Family Guy, where Lois walks
no.
up, and she's just about to say, she's like, "Well, I want to do this." Oh no, it's Parks and Rec. She's like, he's just saying stuff that's like doesn't even matter. He's like, that war's bad. And everyone's like, "Yay!" And she's like, "I really want to fix poverty, right?" Am I
No,
talking about America?
it is Family Guy,
Family Guy.
because she's going up against Peter. And
That's right.
or no, she's going up against Adam West.
Yep.
And she realizes that the American voter is so stupid, and they're like, "What are you going to do about this, this, and this?" And she goes, 9/11 was bad.
And everybody's like, "Yay!"
And then she goes, 9, and they go, 11.
So that is honestly what's happening right now, I think.
But it, like you said, it's scary to see that the other countries.
When you said 9/11, it was
What?
9/11 on our
Oh, on the timer.
Creepy.
do 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 do.
Conspiracy theories and you.
Down the rabbit hole. But no, it's scary to see what we look like to the other countries.
Mhm.
Now, I don't support everything that all Republicans do. I think you can go way too crazy on both sides.
don't
Do you guys
support
want to
a
hear
lot of the
something
things they do.
crazy?
But
I don't know if this is a conspiracy. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dylan.
Damn it, Clay.
Go ahead,
Do we
Dylan.
need a talking stick in here? All right, I have the talking Sharpie. Okay. That's for you.
That's the biggest thing he's ever held in his hand.
He's not talking. Someone pull a string.
This
Come
is
on.
my right hand. Damn it, now I forget what I was going to say.
You said, I don't agree with everything the Republican Party does, but... And then Clay cut you off.
Get back.
Yep.
No, it's gone.
It's gone.
It's
That
gone.
train
All right.
has left the station, boys.
We'll be 35 minutes into this, and I'll be like, Republicans! It'll hit me.
No,
Go.
so
Credits.
talking about what we look like to other countries. That's what we were talking about.
Mm.
So, I forget what podcast I was watching, but this guy Andrew Schultz was talking about. I guess there is in China for TikTok because China owns TikTok, right?
It's probably Rogan.
No, it was Andrew Schultz.
Andrew Schultz
was on Rogan. So anyway,
several
he was
different
talking about in China that on TikTok they promote like thinking and stuff like that on TikTok,
engineering
like cool,
videos.
Yeah,
They
okay.
promote children doing actual scientific type stuff.
Does anybody have a gun?
Are
Anyway,
you telling this story or am I?
so
Go on.
so he's talking about how in America they don't because they can control what we see, so they promote more of these like stupid dances and stuff like that, basically making us look like idiots. So if you saw us on the outside of the world and you're like, oh, what's trending in America? And you're like, oh my God, these people are idiots. And then you see less of the like engineering and like, oh, here's a cool science experiment, like that kind of stuff. That's what they promote over there in China, but here in America, they promote dancing and stupid stuff.
I mean, honestly, from within America,
Keep it
I
going.
see what's in here, and I also think we're pretty dumb.
I agree. Like playing Fortnite with that song, poof, be gone. Anyway,
Your makeup too strong. Anyway, it's
donut.
It's a
attack.
toxic dance to do. Anyway, I think I remember what it was, or I just triggered something else. So I might not agree with what both sides do because, like, I say that you could go too far on either sides.
Easily.
Like there are things that I agree with on the left, there are things that I agree with on the right, and then there are the people that are so far gone on both sides. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like I was in Tennessee, and I was in a flea market, and an example of someone that went too far on the right is he was saying that it is all precisely planned to where anyone who got the COVID vaccine shot exactly to the second 5 years after you were injected, you will fall over dead. And I said, what?
Well, I mean, we still got 3 years, so.
But no, my thing is, but I'm
I'm a
like,
test subject. I never did it. I'm gonna be the
But-
last man on earth, just like, what's going on, guys?
like the reason I don't buy that whole like population control thing on that is because I think Bill Burr said it. He said all the people that got the shots are the ones that do whatever they're told to do. So why would they kill off their own people? Because like, now don't get me wrong, there are plenty on both sides that have the shot and that don't have the shot.
I don't have the shot.
But a majority of people,
Unless I'm going to a concert, I have the shot.
And that's what my Monopoly money says.
but a majority of people on the left in the high blue cities are fully vaccinated compared to like when you get out into, I mean, you go down to Tennessee and it's like
Open.
it's completely open. You do what you
Vaccine
want.
who?
Florida, all that kind of stuff.
Tennessee, right when they were closing, I was down at my dad's. Like
Mhm.
it was like April, when everything closed, like 2020. Yeah. And so I go all the way down there, and I'm like, what is going on? Like everybody's out.
Mhm.
Like stuff here was closed. Everything was closed, and I was like, well, since I have some vacation time, I'm gonna go down and see my dad. I go down there, and we go to Gatlinburg. I was walking around Gatlinburg, and I was like, oh, it's a normal day in Gatlinburg. There's
Probably
hundreds
full.
of people out here, thousands of people. Went to the aquarium, walked around. I'm like, oh my God, there's still people out. Nobody has masks on, which I personally didn't mind. I'm not saying it's a good thing, bad thing, whatever, but I was like,
Personal
Oh.
freedom.
that nobody has masks on. That's cool. If you want to take the risk, you go out, is what Tennessee did. Tennessee was one of the first places to open because it's their season. They're like, we only make money in from like April to September or whatever.
Oh yeah, Gatlinburg is all through the end of summer and into the fall is
Yeah.
like their busiest because it's when
And they said
that's when we went down
they
there. Is when the
basically
leaves
said-
were changing and all that. So it's like you get all the orange and all
Yeah.
that's just
the
swarming
basic
with people.
because they got hit the year before. I think it was 2019 when they got hit with that big fire. I think it was 2019. Maybe that was 2018.
Oh
They got hit with a big fire in the Smokies, and it almost burned down Gatlinburg entirely.
Jesus.
They randomly chose spots, but they're like, we need to open, or we're just not going to be able to open ever again. So they said, screw the government, and they were open. So Dollywood, I think, was the only thing closed when I was there. They had whatever the other park is. I can't remember the name of it, but basically just
Dollywood is the big one right there.
there's another park there though. It's not Dollywood. It's like called Treasure Island or something. It's not even a park.
Splash
It's
Marine.
basically just R.I.P. It is just a like shopping / like restaurant area. It's like an outdoor place, but they got like rides and stuff there.
Oh, I have no.
I think
idea.
it's I want to say it's called Treasure Island. But
Is
they
it
were
like that
open.
Little, is it that little thing that looks like a fair when you're driving through Pigeon Forge?
Oh, I think it's called the Fair. You're right. Yes, it's Pigeon Forge.
All right.
Maybe it's not called Treasure Island. I'm sorry.
Ding, ding,
I'm
ding,
just,
ding, ding.
I'm just thinking when you're driving
Yeah.
through that
They
strip
got, like, the-
in Pigeon Forge where you just have all the stuff, or all the tourist stuff, all
Yep.
the shows, all the dinners, all the.
Because
Yeah.
we went, because I'm an alcoholic, we went to Old Smoky to get some moonshine, and they were even doing tests. I was like, oh, I'll do a test tasting
Mhm.
of moonshine. I was like, oh, this is literally like normal life down here. It's
Well,
fantastic.
I think the thing that broke everything was these. I don't know. It's like when you want the shot or whatever. If you want it, take it.
Mhm.
Very simple.
If you're worried, take it.
Half my family has it, but like my grandparents all have it because they're elderly, they have health problems, all that kind of stuff.
They are the target demographic for COVID.
Yeah, we're younger, we don't have those kind of health problems and all that kind of stuff. So it's like the mandates is what set everybody off on it. I really don't think if they didn't put those mandates in, I really don't think it would have been such a big thing.
Yeah.
It's when they all of a sudden get in and start telling you what you have to do when it's still in the experimental phase.
I'm not worried about mandates because I don't date man.
I'm really glad nobody laughed at that. Thank you, Billy.
I laughed at it.
I personally, I'm not taking the risk until I've seen it a couple years down the road. And if it's fine, it's fine. I just don't want to be watching TV when I'm 60 and they go, "Did you get the COVID vaccine?" And I'm like,
you could be
"I did."
eligible.
Title of compensation.
Penis falls off at 70. What?
Well,
What?
the biggest thing that was one of my things that kind of, I was already skeptical and all
I
that.
didn't like
but
how much they pushed it.
Do you really
it was
need it after
it was the
70,
pushing.
though?
It was the fact that they were giving away rewards if you took it. Why was Budweiser involved in giving away free beer if you got it? Why would you get these prizes? Then my friend over in Brazil told me that I don't think it's like this anymore, but at the beginning, now this is just what they told me, so don't fact check me on this.
Fact
Or
check.
go ahead and fact check me.
Okay,
But I
Google.
believe that when these vaccines first came out, the country of Brazil, the president of Brazil, rejected the vaccine coming into their country because Pfizer said that they have a 0% liability. And
yeah.
he was like, what? He's like, what about if there are side effects that start happening later?
That was one of the
and they're like, well, it's
biggest-
not ours.
That was one of the biggest flaws in Trump's plan for Operation Warp Speed was giving absolute amnesty to any of the pharmaceutical companies.
Yep.
Saying, you're not liable for any of it. What?
I've never done anything wrong in my life.
But think
You
about
know-
it this way.
but, like, really-
if we didn't have the media coverage on COVID, it's not like the Black Plague or anything like that. Nobody would have ever known this existed.
Well, I think we would have known about it, but it would have been like, hey, it's just like a real
So-
bad cold season, real bad
People would have
flu.
been saying like, wow, there's some strain of the flu going around that's hitting people harder or something like that.
For YouTube, remember, speak to your doctor about the COVID vaccine if it is right for you. We are not doctors. None of this is medical information.
Liable.
It calls anal leakage.
That's my ass, bro. Stop.
Oh yeah, right behind me in the studio, Alaric has hung up 2 new flags. One of them says,
No step on snake.
It says no step on snake.
It's like a kid-drawn Gadsden flag. It says no
And
step
then-
on snake.
But the one behind me that really made me laugh is because I didn't even read it properly when I entered the room. It's a giant Bass Pro Shop flag, and I came in and I was like, Bass Pro Shop, why? Until you read it again, and it says, "That's my ass, bro. Stop."
How much did you spend on these?
$4 for
It
each.
wasn't enough. You needed to spend more. These are
Hey,
fantastic.
I'm not going back and spending more.
Where'd you
I
get
like
these
how it's
from?
just. I like how it's just spelled STOP, stop, but I can't read it any other
Stop.
way.
I'm not gonna lie,
Stop.
my dad loves Bass Pro Shop, and I almost want to buy this for him and
That's
just give
my
it to him. Be
ass,
like, Dad, I
bro.
got you this.
Stop.
Be like, I got it off Wish.com though, so it might. It's a little. It's like less
Well,
quality.
he'll go to hang it up and then step back and look at it and go,
or
"The
he'll
fuck?"
hang it, or he'll hang it up, not read it, and then have a friend come over, like go fishing with him, and be like, "Oh, what? What does that say?" But yeah, so I don't know. You take it or leave it with the vaccine.
It's yeah, it's something, all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have to do some plugging here. So today's episode of Truffle Shuffle Podcast is brought to you by Truffle Shuffle Podcast. That's right. Direct your eyes to your screen because we are scraping the bottom of the barrel now, folks. You see, this is even a live promo. Look at this. We have TruffleShufflePodcastMerch.com, which is where you can go and buy all these lovely new merchandises. Ta-da! What do you got, Clay?
With gas prices rising, we need the money.
It costs an arm and a leg to get here to the studio now, literally.
Does that
So-
really say $24.99? That's way less than $25. $19.99?
But
At
all-
least it's not $20.
But all you people who think that these shows happen for free, no, because
You
in
are
this,
correct.
because in this inflation special, we need money.
I'm calling on
So-
America to make us $25.
So go over to TruffleShufflePodcastMerch.com. Yes, I know it is a mouthful, but we gotta.
Keep going.
Oh, okay. Oh, you said you put up your finger like stop. Sorry. So go over to TruffleShufflePodcastMerch.com. Again, that is TruffleShufflePodcastMerch.com.
And for the next 2 weeks only, we're having an early bird special, 10% off all your needs and dreams from the Truffle.
Oh, no.
Merch.com. You'll get 10% off for the first 2 weeks. Use the code anyways.
Yes, I was hoping it was. I read it. I was like, yes.
We have
Promo
tank
code.
tops, women's tank tops, men's tank tops, women's comfort tees, women's boyfriend tees, regular tees. We even have a throw pillow, a pool towel, and a fleece blanket for those diehard fans.
We've got four-wheel drive. We've got two-wheel drive. We've got SUVs. We don't have those.
Wacky, wavy, inflating, inflatable arm tube.
Wacky inflatable arm big tube man.
But
Just buy our crap, okay?
There
Just
will
please.
be some updates coming to the shop because right now things have the logo and all that kind of stuff. We will be adding to the designs as we go forward.
We will-
You might even be able to get things with caricatures of your 3 favorite boys' faces on there.
and
tease them yet, Dylan.
and
Oh,
you
that's a lot of teasing.
might just be able to have it signed by us.
Yeah, that won't happen.
That won't happen
For a
But
small fee.
If
we
you
don't
bring it to us and give us an extra $5,
I
sure
will
we'll sign it.
forge all the signatures. If you
I will
pay me.
personally pay for your T-shirt if you come up in public and you're not any of these guys sitting here, or Tanner, or Kyle,
Please ignore that last 30 seconds.
or
All
Fat
right,
Boy.
well,
937.
that's our own advertisement right there. I promise next week we'll record it and have a good one. Now, on to our real sponsor.
Nailed.
And now a word from our sponsors. Truffle Shuffle Podcast is brought to you by Barron's Barbershop in West Carrollton. Come on down to Barron's Barbershop if you're looking for quality and a blast from the past with antique stools and registers. Barron has been cutting hair for 3 decades, and he has the skills to style your hair with class. Whether you need a trim or you want to try a whole new style like Alaric desperately needs, Barron is the man with the plan. Make sure you bring cash and mention that Truffle Shuffle sent you. And thank you from our sponsor.
Wait for it.
Oh yeah. There it is.
Hey.
I like how we've got it timed down now.
I've listened to it way too many times. So on to our next topic.
In
We
Russia,
really
podcast
wanted-
sponsor you.
Oh, goodness.
That was
Well done.
tasteless about what we're about to talk about. Ukraine right now, unfortunately, is under fire from Russia. Dylan, do you feel good about making that now?
World War III, baby. World
Well,
War III.
I mean, COVID's over now, so there's
Yeah,
that.
COVID just
This
magically.
podcast is being demonetized just from saying Ukraine and Russia in the first 3 seconds.
COVID magically fucking disappeared overnight. Kind of like how California lifted all its mask mandates, what, a day or two before the Super Bowl?
You know,
and
they
then
had to have that Super Bowl, baby.
Washington, D.C. got rid of their mask mandates the day of the State of the
You
Union.
got to have that State of the Union, baby.
I saw the best thing ever. I don't remember what news station it was, but they were doing an interview with the lady, the circle back around to that lady.
Jen Psaki.
So-
Circle back.
So he goes,
It's
I
Psaki?
noticed.
Is that how you say her last
Jen
name?
Psaki.
He goes,
I thought it was Pasaki, or isn't it with a P? How do you spell it?
It is with a P, but the P is silent like pterodactyl.
So,
I'm a circle back around.
do you
to
know
that
why the
spelling.
P is silent? Because all dinosaurs are dead. So the thing,
What?
basically,
No,
there's a joke.
hold on. We're not just gonna jump by.
Do you know
that,
why the
like-
P is silent in pterodactyls?
You said because all the dinosaurs are dead.
Yes, because they are. It's a terrible joke.
That's not a joke at all. That's
I mean, Dylan, they couldn't defend themselves on it, so it
you
doesn't
sound
matter.
like our president, dude. You s-
Well,
president,
hey,
dude.
come on, man.
Come on, man.
come on, man.
Look,
so,
Pat.
God dang it! Now I forget what I was talking about.
Russia and Ukraine.
The guy goes
Circle back,
to
lady.
that lady. He goes, so I noticed that you aren't wearing a mask and you're in there. She's like, yes, we have currently lifted all mask mandates. And he goes, well, what changed? Like, did the science change?
science
He said,
changed.
did the science change? And she's like, oh, I'm breaking up. But the way she like looked like, oh, fuck, I don't know how to answer that one.
I will say, she is very good at her job. You want to know why I say that?
What?
Do you have any idea how hard it is to make Biden sound like a normal person?
She doesn't.
She does a very good job trying to hawk his crap to the American people.
No, it's like watching a toddler give a presentation to the class that they didn't read the book for.
And sadly,
That
people
is
are
our
buying into it.
president. He is the toddler. And then you and you and then I want
fish
and
foods.
then that's my ass, bro. Stop. That's what.
All right.
it-
So anyway,
it's-
on to the serious topic of Russia, Ukraine. We're at the brink of World War III, boys.
No, we're not.
Only if NATO gets involved,
If NATO gets involved,
which
we're
we should not be a
dumb.
part of.
So on Thursday, the 24th, unfortunately, Russia decided that they were going to do a military exercise, or at least that's what they were saying, exercise as they were firing upon every military base, every ammo, and anything that had to do with them being able to defend themselves. They were trying to kill, blow up, destroy, whatever. And then randomly the next day, they started firing upon citizens. There's tanks in the streets. There's bombs going off everywhere. Missiles. A missile went into the middle of one of the cities and unexploded, of course. But there's tons of videos online, unfortunately, of all the devastation that's happening over there.
Republicans. Sorry, it just came back to me. Remember, like I said it would.
It sounded like you were
Buckle
like,
up, folks. It's gonna get big.
this right here. Hold your thought for 2 seconds. It was like Drake and Josh, where it's like, Megan.
Megan. It just clicked back in because when you were saying, I don't know why.
We're
but
going
when
to
you
circle
said
back
Russia,
around
putting
to
all
what
this
we were
up-
talking about
circle back.
before.
So what I was saying is whether I saw a thing with like whether you agree with his politics or not about Trump, about how he was talking about how he's the only president in the 21st century where under his term Russia has not invaded somewhere.
Correct.
There was I don't know where they did under Bush or I don't know the actual places.
I want
but
to say it
he-
was Ukraine. They've
he listed
invaded
them.
Ukraine before, just
But
not like this.
But it was also that he's the only president in the 21st century that has not started a war. Now we were in wars, of course, while he was in office.
But he did not start a new
he
one.
didn't technically start a new one. I just thought it was like I mean, trust me, there's a lot of stuff he says that I'm like, oh, dude. I'm like, no, don't say that. But then there's a lot of stuff where he says where I'm like,
Fuck it, say
okay.
it.
No, fuck, go ahead, fucking say it. But when he said that, and he said it in a manner where there wasn't actually any sarcasm in his voice, and I was like, well, hold up now. I was like, that's like a real statement. I was like, that's a good
That's a
Poli-
real
I
statement.
was like, that's a good political statement right there. He made the words go together, make the statement. All right, sorry, but yeah, that's what it was. Is that whether you agree with his politics or not, he is the only one in the 21st century where Russia did not pull any shit.
My problem is
because-
I feel like if this continues to escalate, we will eventually be pulled into it, and I do not believe we should have anything to do with the actual conflict.
We get pulled into everything because all the government says that they want to do is help every other country before they fucking help the people here.
Yeah.
We've got homeless here. We have children who
We
don't
have
have
businesses-
homes,
we
but
have
they spend all
businesses-
that money everywhere else.
So
We
get
have
this.
businesses closing right now because of COVID. I have a friend that lost his business. Not lost, but I mean, he ended up closing it because of COVID. He's like, when they did all the mask mandates and all this stuff, he's like, I mean, I did it. And he's like, but still people didn't want to come out. Everybody's afraid of everybody.
There was I think it's one of those vitamin places up there, like the Vitamin Shop B or whatever they call it with all those extra letters. I think my mom went by one of those the other day, and she said there was a sign on the door locally that said, this location is now closed because every employee quit.
Wow.
They have and they can't, they're
Nobody
not
wants to work?
paying. Well, because
Back to that.
nobody wants to work, which we can circle back on that over and over and over. Because it's just, you're getting what? Fast food workers are now making $15, $16 an hour, which is more than some people do in the healthcare service and all that stuff.
I mean, very few make that little in the healthcare service,
But it's like I don't know who gets paid what, but it's like now that that's going up, all of a sudden that's the new standard to where if any little local business doesn't want to pay somebody $20, $25 an hour, they're like, oh, well, I don't want to do it.
They can't afford it because prices of everything are going up. So they have to take their prices up.
Mm-hmm.
I personally want to spend less money because stuff is going up.
Well, inflation has gotten so bad, and the buying power of a dollar has gone way down because we just needlessly keep spending and printing trillions and trillions of dollars.
I live 2 minutes away from this studio, and it costs me $17.99 to drive my car over here. All right.
well, that's a little
fucking
bit of an
expensive.
exaggeration. But
Maybe next week, but not this week. This week it was more like 10.
When I first came to Ohio when I first came back to Ohio, when was that? The end of March 2020?
yeah,
Yeah.
Sorry, say what you will, but when Trump was in office, gas was $1.87 when I got here. It's now $3.79.
We're also in the middle of a pandemic.
And
That's what they told us.
a war.
and the forecasted oil prices are skyrocketing because
Wonder
Because
why?
we-
Why is that?
Now,
it's almost like
it's almost like we
like-
shut down a fucking pipeline. Sorry.
That was like here in America?
right. And then when we lift the sanctions on Russia's pipeline,
Wait a minute.
wait a second.
I was told I was not going to get affected by the Russia invasion.
I'm starting to think our
You should-
politicians lie to us,
You
Clay.
should have said invasion. You should have just said, I was thinking I wasn't going to get affected by the Russia.
The Russia.
We were told in the State of the Union that this gentleman said that these sanctions will not affect anything. The next day, gas went up 40 cents.
All right. Couple things about
This is just a question for me. When was the State of the Union? Was that
Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Oh, okay. So I
Was it
wasn't
like three
3 days.
ago.
Okay.
And what's
So-
gas prices at right now?
$3.79 is what I filled up at Kroger.
With 10 cents
We
off?
were down in Cincinnati this morning, and it was
$3.99.
Do you guys,
Diesel was $5.07.
is he riding with you just to like get used to it or
Yeah.
just hanging out?
He was riding with me. He helped me
The,
out
Co-
this morning.
the Costco that I go to, where it's usually always 50 cents cheaper,
Mhm.
is still $3.79.
It's ridiculous.
Now, if you go just to
You go to the Costco by my house?
over on Wilmington,
Anyways,
that's over
while,
by my
you're,
house.
while you're looking that up. Anyways, as I was saying earlier, Biden's speech was basically a big campaign speech, but it wasn't even a big campaign speech for Democrats.
How much is
Almost
it?
every major talking point he had was, besides a couple, were like old make America great again type stuff that Trump has been hawking around for the last 4 years. One of them being, we're going to strengthen our border, secure it, and curb the illegal immigration.
From
When-
Canada. Wait a minute. Hold on.
But
Stay in
wait,
your
wait,
own
wait.
yard.
But on
I'm not your
Monday-
buddy, guy.
Hold up. On Monday, he asked for volunteers from not the armed forces, not the military police, but the Customs and Border Patrol to go to Poland to process refugees from Ukraine. I'm pretty sure that there's an issue at the southern border that our Customs Border Patrol could be working on.
Just kidding.
So
I guess immigration. They did say when I was listening to, I forget, it was a live podcast or a live feed. I know it was dumb. It was tasteless, kind of like your Russian voice.
The funniest thing you've done in a while.
So
I don't know why.
So they were talking about how immigration is up by a fuckload.
illegal immigration.
Illegal, sorry. And now they're giving these people money.
Because we are totally on board with coming here.
And if you don't, you're racist.
Yes. Super racist.
Thank you, AOC.
Well, like everybody that I know in California, whenever I was out there, they all came over legally. And it costs a lot of money, a lot of time, and a huge amount of effort to be able to do that. And some of my best friends out there have gotten their, their citizenship, and that is an incredibly amazing thing. Like, I'm proud of them for doing that. Them and their families.
But they did it the right way.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, that is so impressive to be able to do that after all these years, where you still follow through. Because it is, the system is broken. The system is broken because of all the people who have abused the system.
Yep.
So whenever they did get it, all the way through, that was a huge success.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of them out there and all that. I don't want to drop any names, but just in case.
I don't think it should be, oh, well, I come to America and now I take a job and they can pay me under the table, and then somehow I still can get health care and all this kind of stuff from somebody else. I honestly, I don't know the ins and outs of it exactly, but like, I know I don't like. No, I was kidding.
my friends who have come here legally and all that and are now citizens, I would actually love to talk to them about it, about like what their opinion would be on illegals and what this country does for illegals, because now that they're the citizens and all that, that's coming out of their paycheck.
Yep.
So I would that would be an open discussion that I would like to have, where I'd be like, what do you think of it? But I also understand that they see a whole different side of the system than you and me do,
mm-hmm.
because we don't deal with it.
Yeah.
Everybody deals with different things. Like, I talked to one of my friends out there, and he had a whole different side of the system that I would never see, which made him lean, certain ways when it came to different politics and stuff like that. But also involving my little brother, who is handicapped, I have a side of the system that he didn't see. So I remember we had a really good conversation about that, about just how things affect people differently, which is why no one will ever truly agree on everything. And the thing that I was oohing and ahhing about is I pulled up gas prices for Burbank, California.
Uh-huh.
Costco.
Oh, God, I see it from here.
Is $4.89.
Good God.
And it ranges to $5.89 a gallon right now.
Jesus.
That's Burbank. Let's pull up Malibu. It's the same. Still $4.80. There's a dollar spread from $4.89 to $5.89. Now if I go to Beverly, oh my God, Beverly Hills. What do you think the spread is?
I'm gonna say $5.20.
No. The spread. So the lowest is $4.99.
Oh, geez.
What do you think the highest is in Beverly Hills?
$5.30. Is it really higher?
$6.19.
Oh my God.
The Mobile right there on Wilshire Boulevard.
Bro,
right,
if you got a Lamborghini, it doesn't
right
matter.
by where I used to work. $6.19 a gallon.
What a deal.
Do you understand that? Now, I don't know what it is now. It could have gone up. When I left California, Beverly Hills minimum wage in one of the most expensive cities in America was $12 an hour. An hour would get you 2 gallons of gas. Not even. Because that's before taxes, and it's $6.19.
Jesus.
I worked in Beverly Hills 1 block away from Rodeo Drive. Now, I was at a restaurant that made tips. That's where all your money came from.
Yeah.
But if we were dead, I was making $12 an hour working in one of the most expensive cities in the world.
That's crazy.
And I thought gas was bad out there before.
It's sad that gas prices here have risen they're rising everywhere, of course, but to the point where yesterday I went to Kroger's and put $10 in.
That
I have a
needle
project
didn't fucking
car.
move.
I have a project car that I drive or track car, sorry, and I put $10 in it, and I'm like, maybe the needle moves slow. And I was like, oh, that's gonna be half a tank, $10. It's normally like 30 to fill it up. I'm like, it's not moving. And it literally went just above a quarter.
What?
I only put premium fuel in my car.
I do.
Wait, and it only cost you $30 to fill up with premium?
It did. Not anymore. I haven't
just-
filled up a car in like 5 freaking weeks because of all this crap.
If I was on E,
I just keep putting
and
a little bit in because I'm like, maybe gas prices will go down. And
if I was
an
on
idiot.
E and I had to fill up, I just ran the numbers. For mine, not premium or anything like that, cost me $53.06. Do you know how much it was to fill up when I came here?
Like 25, 30.
He's pulling up.
How many gallons is your tank?
About if I was completely empty, it would cost me about $24 to fill
How
it up.
much or how many gallons is your gas tank?
I believe 13 or 14.
Mine's 11 or 12.
I've been putting in 14.
Mine's 11 or 12, and I have to run premium, and it's not fun. It's not fun.
Okay. For my car, since we're on the subject of gas,
We have the same car, but he has the Wish.com version. No, I'm just kidding.
He has
a Ford Fiesta ST. I have a Ford
ST3.
Fiesta.
It's the high end.
Everybody who was
ST,
listening is
which is
probably
just
tuned
E
out
converter.
because this got too real for them. But this is just
Would it
the
be
shit
worth
we're
it
dealing with.
for me to put like premium in every like third?
No.
Okay, so not at all.
Your car doesn't need it.
Okay. I
Mine.
won't worry about it.
Let
Like,
me
it doesn't
explain
just-
this.
It doesn't like flush out things.
If you do
that are-
premium, don't you want to do premium all the time anyway?
Not really.
Otherwise,
You don't-
it doesn't make
unless
too
the
much of a
car
difference.
asks for it. So my car is a turbocharged car.
Mhm.
It has a different compression ratio than your car does.
Mhm.
It requires more
higher,
higher octane to
Mm.
produce that kind. Like in a pinch, like God forbid if they're out of premium somewhere and I need to get gas, I'll throw it in there. I won't throw a full tank in there. It can mix with it, but it'll just lower the octane level from 93 to
You'll just
like
get a lot less
87,
kick.
basically. But you don't really want to fill it up all the time with that because it will produce engine knock where it's trying to fire it and it's not hot enough, and it will
Gotcha.
literally, it just
Like if
doesn't
you try to put regular gas in a diesel
misfire.
engine.
It basically makes it misfire.
It
No.
won't be. It won't. Oh wait, no.
If you
if
put
you try to
gas-
put diesel in a gas engine,
If you put diesel in a
it won't
gas,
be hot enough to ignite it.
it won't get enough compression,
Right.
because the compression ratio on diesel is out the fucking roof.
The more you know.
You guys lost me when you said car.
Critical thinking with Clay. Hey. So
weird.
yeah, so gas prices suck. The world sucks. Russia is invading Ukraine, and Dylan is a Nazi.
But on
I'm
the
just
bright,
kidding.
What the fuck? No,
I'm just kidding.
let's just
kidding.
brush over that. Nobody needs to care. But on the bright
Brush that
side,
under the bed.
there are farmers who are stealing Russian tanks and selling them on eBay.
Nuh-uh.
Yes.
That's fucking dope. I'll buy one.
with tractors. Like they're
I
stealing
meant to ask.
tanks with tractors.
Have you guys seen something about a convoy coming from Canada of truckers?
Oh, you mean the Freedom Convoy 2022?
What is that about?
So there
it the
was
mandates?
Isn't
there
it
was no.
I think it's happening like today. Or
They were
Next
supposed to.
Saturday.
They were supposed to get into DC.
I thought the
2 days
strike was
ago.
done.
No, so in Canada,
Yeah.
this is a different one.
Oh.
This is
the,
America,
This is
from
Freedom
Canada.
Convoy 2022 America, and they started in San Francisco. I think.
no,
Allegedly.
this one started on I-70 in Canada, at the top. This is what I read. They're coming down I-70.
And then going across.
Yes.
Because I know they're going to DC,
Yes.
but
So they're gonna
because
fuck
there's
up
already
traffic
there's
for a
already
week.
reports of feds trying to infiltrate and fed it up.
What are they doing? This is my question. Are they literally just going to go on the highway and stop? Because if they do, we are fucked. Because there's like, from what I've seen, there's like 1,000 freaking trucks.
Well, the problem is it should have happened while Canada was doing theirs.
But what's
Because
the
if it was happening at the same time, Then, well, there's mandates because
Vaccine mandates
I
for
know
truckers.
Canada was because they were requiring Justin Trudeau, what's his name? Trudeau.
Oh, you mean Castro?
He was requiring vaccines for truckers coming in and out, and they were like, no, not the mandate at least. But then I heard that got changed, but we don't have a nationwide mandate here. So what is there?
That didn't stop him. That didn't stop Biden from trying.
Well, I know he's trying and all that, but it's not going through.
Well,
so
it-
like,
yeah.
what is
well, it-
the one in America? What is their? What are they going against?
The real thing is, it's more of you have to stop all the. It's time to open up all states.
Mhm.
It's time to go back to where we were. We
Oh,
need to
okay.
start. We need. It's really, it really is.
It's
it needs
just
to
them
be-
being done.
We get protests all the time for general nonsense. It's time we start getting protests from the other side of the political spectrum.
Mm.
So this just happens to be a more libertarian, freedom-loving oriented protest that
That is non-violent.
nonviolent, because they're what they're planning on doing is they're planning on staying out of DC proper. So they'll go into the DC area, but they're going to stay out of DC proper, because the moment they go into DC, especially now with all the walls and all the armed guards that they're putting up.
That's also another weird thing, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're supposed to be able to protest our government, but why are they walling themselves off?
Are they walling themselves off from us or walling us off from them?
Both.
If you have to put up a wall to protect you from the people that you're meant to serve, you're not serving the people.
Wrong. Just kidding. Wall is good.
Think of it this way.
I'm terrible. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Mexico City. We love you. Or
If-
Mexico, we love you.
If the government fears the people, you have a democracy or a republic. If the people fear the government, you have a tyranny. So,
Russia.
Because the whole right to
It's a
bear
tyranny.
arms and all that stuff was, now everybody thinks like, oh, it's to protect yourself. It is. But it's also, George Washington said, to stand up against a tyrannical government.
I mean, it wasn't just George Washington.
Well, he's the one that he's the
I
one
said that.
he's
Alaric
the
said
one that
that.
Jefferson.
I said that.
Joe Rogan said that.
Joe
I
Rogan
think-
is a founding father of the 21st century.
Washington is the one that they quoted it. In
I
the-
personally think that Ukraine is the biggest defense against gun control. Look at that country. All the people have guns.
Think about it. All the people cheering on the Ukrainian government giving civilians automatic weapons are the same people saying we shouldn't have semi-automatic weapons
Yep.
here in the States.
or a pistol.
Because it's not about principle with these people. It's about, what am I being told now?
Mhm.
We are sheep.
Back to the Joe Rogan quote. I forget who actually said it, but
No. Strauss-Howe generational theory. Strong men, hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times create weak men create hard times.
Yep.
It is
we're on the cusp.
Yeah, he did. He said he knew what it was actually called now.
It's
'cause we-
Strauss-Howe generational theory. The
It's
idea
true.
is, the thing is, have you guys ever heard of the fourth turning?
No.
All right. So, how far back from now was World War II? About 80 years.
Probably.
Okay.
It
About
was
80
in the
years.
40s, yes.
Forty-
Yeah.
So,
Two, I
80
think.
years.
Yep. I had to do the math there.
What was 80 years before World War II?
World War One.
Civil War. What?
I don't know.
World War One?
I just did the math real quick. I was like,
the
don't
Civil
say it.
War.
Don't say it. My mouth was like, World War One.
The Civil
When
War
was World
roughly
War One?
in the 20s?
That's okay. So I
It
wanted to
was
say,
like, well, it was like what, 1917 to
Early
1921.
I wanted to say 20s, but I didn't
think-
want to look stupid. if
Good
was
thing I
wrong.
did. Sorry, guys.
World War One.
World War One.
No, yeah, Civil War was
Civil
back.
War.
Wait, Civil War was in.
I'm just gonna shut up because I can't math.
1870s.
Was it that late? I thought it was earlier.
Nope.
Let's find out.
All right, and then 80
Oh,
years.
I opened up my
then 80
my
years
internet,
prior
and
to
it's
that?
on TruffleShufflePodcastMerch.com. Visit now.
Plug.
And then 80 years before that, the Revolutionary War. So, we are on what is called the fourth turning. The Revolutionary War is the first turning, Civil War is the second turning, third turning was the World War II.
Oh, well, no, he's right. Civil War was April 12th, 1861 to
Wouldn't it-
April 9th, 1865.
Wouldn't World War Two be the fourth turning? Because World War One.
That's not every 80 years, though.
Yeah, but
This is every 4 generations.
Oh.
So 20 years per generation.
Okay.
That's the strong men. That's the cycle, right?
What was the one that you said was before Civil War? 80 years prior, approximately?
the Revolutionary?
So you're basically
Revolutionary
saying, since nothing was going on, no offense to my parents or anybody's parents.
Holy shit, 1775 to 1783.
So basically, what you're saying is, right now,
We are
Since-
in.
We're in the
weak men are
find
making
out
hard
phase
times.
because everybody
The
else
hard
fucked around.
times.
yeah,
The hard times is where, because what was right before World War II? The Great Depression.
I'm not gonna say it. I almost said World War One.
The Great Depression was right before World War II.
Yep.
Which was the start of the weak men making hard times,
Mhm.
and then hard times were making strong men. Which our men came out of World War II
Badass
hard and,
motherfuckers.
yeah.
And then we went into Vietnam.
Then we went into the most prosperous we'd been
and we went into Vietnam as strong men.
as strong men, and then it started making good times because the worst thing was happening in America. Yeah, it was about the time we were starting civil rights stuff.
Mhm.
So, I mean, that, while important, but it's not really in the same idea of what's causing the wars.
What did you say came right after World War II?
We're not even hearing it, Clay.
Sorry. Okay, you can't. Okay.
All right,
We're copyright strike.
He's
It's
trying
the
to
Vietnam
play a
song.
song
I was
in a
trying to find it
microphone,
quicker, but I couldn't. I
Gotcha.
apologize.
in a microphone that has a
A gate.
A gate.
a gate on it.
Dylan thinks that a gate is literally just a little guy inside. Every time we talk, he just opens it up. Okay, here. Oh, he's quiet. He's quiet.
Yeah, it's like your man on the cup whenever
But
you're playing
anyways,
drinking games.
We are
Your little man.
We are entering the weak men into hard times phase. So hopefully this blows over and Russia just fucks off.
I hate to say this, but
But
Putin is fucking insane. They took away his black belt.
right, the Judo Commission, International Judo Commission, like,
And
I
as
saw
Dylan
memes-
knows,
Oh my god.
when they took away art school from Hitler, World War II happened. Right, Dylan? So,
I don't
yeah,
like
it's
this anymore.
this is not going to be good. We fucked around and found out, I guess.
We didn't get to fuck
well,
around.
see, the
We're in
problem
our
is, though,
20s.
is
It's all right, Dylan. You can
think-
come to my house. I got guns. He's got guns. We'll have fun.
We have guns.
I don't know what you're talking
Oh
about.
shit, you do have guns. Oh, you're good then.
You don't have guns
I have a machete.
Why don't you have a gun? This is an honest question.
because he's a wuss.
Why don't you have a gun?
Because he's a wuss.
Just haven't gotten one yet.
Because he's a wuss.
I think because
You should get one.
Did COVID teach you nothing?
what?
Get a gun.
We have guns.
No.
No,
You don't have a gun.
have guns. I have guns. He has guns. Steven has guns. Your mom has guns. You have nothing. So what happens when you're in your car with Allison and God forbid that's when Russia finally invades?
He'll slap at his meat.
I don't have a concealed carry.
You don't
need
have
one
to.
anymore.
Not yet. It hasn't been
Well,
signed.
I mean, constitutional carry is going to be here in Ohio.
If
so-
DeWine
It's
signs
not
it,
here yet.
if DeWine signs it, I'm gonna go out and buy a pistol and be ready. Stay strapped or get clapped.
Clapped.
So
Jeez. Why am I under attack right now?
that was a live performance. That wasn't even a button.
Hey-o.
Nice. So yeah, unfortunately, everything in Ukraine I think is absolutely insane. Did you guys see the nuclear plant getting shot at?
No.
Okay, here's the thing this is where I don't know, well, because look at our media, because who knows what the fuck is true anymore nowadays. The things that I've seen are some of these, I think some news site just got busted showing different
I've seen that. I don't watch any news that's on the TV.
showing different clips
Mhm.
from a different attack and claiming that Russia was hitting Ukraine.
It was a video
Which
of
is
a
where-
missile hitting like a building or something.
Which is what drives me crazy, because remember whenever news used to actually be about the fucking news
Now it's just
to inform you on what it is?
not anymore.
Now that's why I think that's why so many people in our generation there is no middle anymore. You're either like me, where you've completely checked out and you're almost to the point of not caring
Or
anymore.
you're so involved.
Or you're so involved that you will believe anything that they say on those. And that again goes
There
on
is a
both
middle.
si-
There's a middle where they say every news station ever is fake, which I get, but when there's something happening over, in Ukraine, and there's definite people that I personally am friends with on Facebook and all that, and friends like that, and they're like, stuff's happening here. The internet is being interrupted every single time that a missile hits. So you don't live stream it, basically.
But there is propaganda coming from both ends.
Oh, I'm not saying
yeah.
it's not happening
I agree with that.
whatsoever. I mean, it's
right now is a mad prop, because that's the first thing in like conventional warfare is you have to control the hearts and minds of people. You do that through propaganda, and honestly, I do not think we should be involved at all.
Nope.
The only problem I have with that is because Ukraine is not technically an ally of ours. And the United States needs to stop being Big Daddy U.S.
No, the United States needs to stop relying on other countries for our gas or
that too.
oil.
Right.
And that's the main reason we're like, Russia good. And then Russia's like, go fuck yourself.
Russia's not so good.
Yeah. And now it's like, Russia's no good.
But we need to start becoming self-sufficient again. We need to start making our own stuff here.
we were.
However, there was one big
tried.
thing that Biden said but didn't say in the State of the Union. He talked about how there's this 1,000 acres worth of land, like 20 miles east of Columbus, Ohio, that they want to start building silicon chip plants.
What is that?
Which pretty much means that if China takes this Russia taking Ukraine thing as a, hey, if he can take back his old land, I'm going to take back my old land and invades Taiwan. Or as we like to say, mainland Taiwan is invading Taiwan. The U.S. will not step in on that at all because we won't need to, because we'll have our own chips. But Taiwan is an official ally of ours.
What do you mean by chips?
Microchips.
Did you not remember all
your
the trucks?
cars and your phones and
You just said chips. I
Okay,
didn't know
do
which
you
ones you were
remember-
talking about.
Do you
Silicon
remember
chips.
me talking to him about the graphics cards in like computers being
it's
really
very hard to get
expensive?
them.
They used to be like $300,
Mhm.
but now since they're made in China and there's chip shortages and all
Taiwan.
that stuff, they're made in Taiwan where
dare
there's chip
you.
shortages and
You have
everything.
to ship them.
They just don't have them because nobody was making them and nobody was farming or not farming. What do you
Well,
call
I
it?
mean,
Making all
you
this
got to
stuff.
mine for the minerals.
Basically, it turned a $300 computer graphics card into a $1,200 one.
Mhm.
Everybody wants them right now to farm all this cryptocurrency and stuff like that, which I still think is dumb. So people like me and Alaric that just want to play a video game on our computer, we have to spend $700 to $800 on a graphics card, or he has to buy a pre-built card or a pre-built computer that just comes with one already
Mhm.
to be able to play video games. And these people are sitting over there buying
That's
all
why
these
you
cards
stick to the consoles, boys.
and play
They
at
go
30
in your
frames per
console
second
too,
like
guy.
a and play at 30 frames per second like a peasant.
Why do you think the PlayStation 5s and the Xbox One Series X's are so hard
$600
are so hard to come by right now?
Oh, I just thought it was still.
But there's
buy 'em.
also down at Kentucky Motor Speedway that's gone now, but Ford placed, I think it was like 1,700 trucks in the parking lot at the Kentucky Speedway, and it was just filled with trucks. They had 4 computers to move the trucks. All those trucks were waiting on chips. Is that not insane? So they build all these trucks. That's why trucks are so expensive right
When
now.
I worked at D-Max, we were having the same
In
issue
cars.
with GM.
Yeah.
They were
So
having
they
such a hard time
had
getting the
4
chips.
computers to move 1,700 cars or trucks. There were only trucks at the time for
Anyways,
Ford.
Taiwan makes 60% of the world's computer chips.
Mhm.
If China takes Taiwan and we don't do anything to stop that, or nobody else does, China will officially dominate the entire market around the world when it comes to computer chips.
And they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Because they don't care. They use our monetary system to make money and use their authoritative system to control power.
I would say I would abolish all Chinese stuff, but Chinese food is really good.
Right.
So
So
I can't
that's
really
another
Yeah,
do
that's why
thing.
you got to go to Panda
All
Express.
these-
That's American Chinese.
You're right. All these
Right.
places are cutting out Russian civilians for what Putin is doing in Ukraine, which I don't find right. Like when it looks at the
There's a couple that I do agree with. The owner of Chelsea, he did sell it. And he said, I am, wiping my hands. I'm selling. Do you know what Chelsea is? You don't know what Chelsea is.
The
Chelsea is the
boot?
football, or the soccer team.
oh
He was,
Oh.
he's got ties with Russian oligarchies and all this kind of stuff. Because
Well, yeah,
a
that
billionaire.
oligarchies are different from civilians.
But hold on, I'm saying, I think he did the right thing. He said, "I'm going to sell it, so you guys are not affected." And I think that's how it should work. But I don't. I agree with you about the civilians and stuff like that.
The
but
problem
in
is-
F1 right now, there's a gentleman by the name of Nikita Mazepin. I think is his name, Mazepin. He is Russian. His dad is a Russian oligarchy. He sponsors the car. The day that they invaded, they peeled the sticker off of Ukrali or I can't even pronounce it. They peeled it off the car, and they were like, "You're gonna probably lose your seat because you are a Russian oligarchy's son." And like weeks before that, they had a meeting with Putin,
right.
and it's like that's kind of a bad idea. So he apparently was going to lose his seat because of just being Russian.
Anyways, as I was saying, so the idea is we see all this boycotting of Russian goods and things.
Mhm.
I do not think we will see the same thing if China moves on Taiwan.
Absolutely not. We can't.
Right. Well, the
We
thing
won't be
is,
able to do this podcast.
It's not. Well, I mean,
These microphones.
well, yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, we can still do it because we already have the shit.
Yeah, I mean, we got
But-
it already.
I'm
It's just gonna
I'm
sound
referring
like this
to
for a while.
You have
China.
you have things like Activision. You've got things like Tencent Games, which owns Riot Games, which is League of Legends. You have all sorts of things like Netflix, YouTube. You've got Apple. You think Apple and Samsung are going to be like, no, we're not going to make anything in China anymore because of this?
There's a comedian
No,
that
because
talks
what
about.
they're going to do is they're going to pass the cost on to us.
No. To pass the cost on to us, they would boycott China. They're not going to boycott China.
But if China has the control over all of that, then they can charge whatever they want.
Right, but people won't pay it at a certain point. They won't pay because you can't pay it.
It's like if I forget who it is that was. It might have been Bill Burr. He's like, bring all these jobs to America. So
Oh,
he's
did you
like,
see-
I don't want to bring people making iPhones to America because then it's going to be like $3,000 for an iPhone. Chappelle. Yeah, that's what it
Chappelle
was. He's
said
like,
it. he's like,
I want to be
I want
buying this shit. I don't want to be making it.
He's like, I want to wear Nikes, not make them.
Yeah.
But then you have stuff like Disney. Disney Plus removed a 23-year-old movie, Anastasia, that is about the downfall of the Russian oligarchy
They took Anastasia off,
off of Disney Plus.
like with Rasputin
Mhm.
and all that, like in the dark of the night.
Yes.
That was that one.
They took it off. You think they would take off Mulan after they just praised the CCP of defending the Uyghur Muslim camps?
Not good at all.
No, I don't think so. So
Wait, so you're saying that they're gonna take one down, but not the
They're-
other?
it's going to be a big double standard. You're going to start seeing a huge
Disney
no.
is one of the biggest fucking double standard
You're going to
companies
see a
in the world.
huge double standard, not from just Disney. I'm talking all the people championing Ukraine right now and down with Russia right now are going to be the same people being like, oh, China just wants their old land back. Taiwan's already been a part of China. Look at places like the WHO, the World Health Organization. They refuse to say the word Taiwan.
See, this is why I live in my own little bubble.
Same.
And I'm like, I'm like, I don't care about, I don't know.
The only reason I got involved with the Ukraine thing is I was literally sitting at work. I was doing nothing. I was on Facebook.
Plus the memes.
And then
are-
I
the
just
memes
was
are
like,
fantastic.
Oh, what's this video? And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. They're like, this is happening right now. I was like, no, it's not. And I was like,
Son of a bitch.
oh my God, it is. And like this video of this guy, he's literally like aiming out of his backyard and you just see a plane. I'm like, oh, what's that? Oh, that's cool. It's a little plane. And the plane kind of flies off and you see a missile come straight through. I was like, that's a video game, dude. That's crazy. And it's like, nope, that's a civilian getting hit with a missile. Like,
However, there was videos from a video game out that people were putting
did see
around
that.
from the ship
Of course
firing
they
on
were.
him.
Yep.
Yeah. So remember, folks,
sponsored by World of Tech. No, I'm just kidding.
It's a fun world we live in.
Raid
So,
Shadow Legends.
a
Yeah.
quick little,
Did
little
you see
thing
that?
before- oh boy.
Hold on, one more thing.
Oh no.
It said it
There
was
was a
Putin.
Vladimir Putin.
He was talking and he's like, now because everybody's frozen our assets, we have to go with outside entities to make money. So this
Yes.
part of the Russian war is
Yes,
sponsored by
I-
League of Legends.
Yes, I
No,
did
it's
see
Raid
it.
Shadow
Raid
Legends.
Shadow Legends. That's right.
But before we wrap up here, for a nice little callback, Fatboy937. if you're listening, which I really hope you still are, we're still trying to figure out who you are. And now
You've made our life a living hell.
we have a bulletin board in the studio.
May I
that
tell
says-
what's on the bulletin board? He has pictures.
It says suspects.
He has pictures of me, Clay, Tanner, and Austin, all of who have been on the show.
Yes, but at one point, either then or now, the suspects have been fat.
But Dylan,
So
you were fat in middle school.
But we didn't have
gonna
TikTok
be-
back in middle school.
He's
We
going to
didn't
be
have
fat
TikTok
here
in high
pretty
school.
soon. Hold on. Dylan's going to be fat here pretty soon because he's eating outside food now. Not outside food. What is it? Fast food. Sorry, I meant to say fast.
My brain don't work too good.
Sorry, I'm running the country too. But
Hey, I used to have fast food 3 times a week. Now I've had it twice in 2 months.
I'm disappointed in you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the Truffle Shuffle Podcast. If you made it all the way through, don't forget to go to TruffleShufflePodcastmerch.com to get our stuff.
Also, I want you guys to take a listen to this song made by yours truly. And you guys, remember to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification if you want to see anything.
Go ahead and click off before the song starts.
No.
I'm Clay. And I'm a dumbass.
Real opening? Money.
You serious? You serious?
Okay, why am I being attacked?
That's right, Alric. You tell him. There's ramen on the pool table. Oh yeah. Quattro.